Another thing of the two, I think two things left. One is resource allocation. Now, the British Medical Association, they have a paper on this, COVID-19 ethical issues, a guidance note. Okay, and it doesn't appear currently. It doesn't appear currently that we will have to resort to this. Alhamdulillah, it appears to be we have just about escaped this, possibly, maybe not, but it looks like we have them. So, whenever you decide, you have two patients, you have one resource and two patients arrive at the same time for that resource. One has a better outcome possibility than the other. Are you able to choose between the two? Okay. Now, all of this discussion is based on maslaha, based on interest and mafsada and harms, interest and harms. So it's always going to be a benefit, a balance between benefit and harms. And where the benefit is greatest, where the maslaha, where the interest is greatest, you will have to, and you have a finite resource. You have a finite resource, then you will have to base your decision on maslaha, on interest and mafsada, and the balance between the two. So, first of all, the two things that you have to decide: how efficient and how equitable is the decision making. Okay, what is the rate of efficiency? What is and how fair is it? Okay, that will require firstly making the decision based on need. Okay, how do you define that? You can either define that through medical utility or maybe clinical utility, clinical effectiveness. Who will benefit most from this? So in terms of will the patient survive or not, and what is the prediction longevity of this patient should they go through be benefit from? For example, it's a ventilator. You have two patients who have the better survival chance, who have the better longevity, and so the ventilator will be given to that individual. Okay. If the two are equal, this is a theoretical sort of a construct I'm presenting here. If the two are equal, that their need is the same, the survival is the same, the longevity is about the same, you can't really tell the difference between the two. Okay. Then next, possibly you look at social utility. Who is providing most benefit to the public? Okay. Okay. So in theory, this would say, if you look at the maslaha and mafsada, the interest and harm sort of a balance, then those in, for example, you have two people that require ventilator. One is a doctor who will get better and treat the COVID patients. The other, for example, is, I don't know, a dustbin, although that's essential, but it's not the same as the doctor who can treat patients, a dustbin man. And so who do you decide? So when it comes to social utility, arguably the doctor would get preference, but then he will go on to save more lives. Okay. Now, this is a very sort of a tricky area, and you know, because there are so many moving variables in this, and it's so controversial that it becomes, what I say, I put here, it results in net utility, or net disutility. That there's so much dispute in this area, so gray and so fraught with the sort of controversy, that the benefit of even looking at this means it causes more harm than it does benefit. Okay, so what do you go on to then? How do you still decide? Then what you would move on is to random selection. Either whoever came first, whoever arrived at the door first gets it. You have both equal chances, etc. Okay, so whoever came first, so it's a random selection. Or you can say, okay, we're putting names in a hat and you draw out of the hat, and the Qur'an cannot establish a right, a drawing lots cannot establish rights, but it can choose between individuals who have the same right. Okay, it can be used to choose, and this is something that we find in the practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in a clinical benefit first, in theory followed by social benefit. However, that is so controversial that it renders itself, you know, probably not something that you can apply, and so therefore you go on to randomization through either some form of drawing of lots or through whoever on a first come first served basis.